Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more Seinarukana with me, Phantom Zawai. So we are hopefully about to go to Ktima's village. Let's hop right back into it.
そんな簡単なことでいいの？
モノベイ殿とのぞみ殿が心を通わせていれば難しくもありません。
She smiles gently as she strokes Agaius' head. Nozomu has determination gleaming in her eyes now.
わかった。やってみる。
アイギアス、ご苦労だった。もう戻っていい？
He vanishes into fog just like when he appeared. Ktima's control over him is perfect. He's a savage-looking spirit, but with her controlling him, it's probably okay. On the other hand, now I'm even more curious about who she really is.
ねえねえ、見て見て。
What? That was quick.
カティマさんの言う通りにやってみたら、ほら、ちゃんとできたよ。ああ、かわいい。
Of course. Just an adorable little mascot now. That's definitely Monobe on her shoulder, and with her will separated, she's small enough to carry in the palm of your hand. She's always been too large to get a good idea of what she looked like before.
やったね。これでずっと一緒にいられるね、モノベ。鳴き声もちゃんと可愛くなってるわね。
Kinda reminds me of Botan from Clannad.
カティマさんのおかげですよ。ってどうしました？のぞみ殿。はい、なんでしょう。
もしよかったらですが、後でその子を抱かせてくれませんか？
Something about the proportions of them doesn't seem right. Like, Nozomu looks like she's closer because she's over top, but Ktima looks huge compared to Nozomu. Unless she's really supposed to be that large. Looks very strange. Love at first sight.
可愛いもの好きだったのね。
Cute? That's cute. It's pretty damn cute, Nozomu.
はーい、カティマさんもモノベイのこと大好きみたい。よかったね。
その鳴き声がまた。
Maybe not quite that cute.
後でじゃなく今抱いたら？
Can we just get moving? I urge everyone on our way, keeping my doubts about Ktima to myself. Ktima guides us to her village. By the time we get there, it's already dark. Okay, I was kind of afraid that Ktima's village was going to be the place that got slaughtered by all those spirits. Well, those minions, I guess. But then again, I guess that wouldn't make sense because Ktima saw the light from the heavens a couple of days ago and has presumably been traveling for a bit, so her village probably isn't quite that close, I assume. By the time we get there, it's already dark.
うわー、なんか本当にファンタジーの世界だな。
The village is small and quiet. Definitely not the kind of place that would attract attention. The houses are all built of wood and look sturdy. There's also a well in the middle of the village. They probably get all the water they need to live there. There doesn't look to be any other water supply. This village is completely different from the modern civilization we're used to.
この世界ではこれが当たり前なのよ。あんまりキョロキョロしないの。
Satsuki scolds us and boldly looks forward instead of peering around. Ktima briefly looks over her village before turning back to us. Maybe she's relieved that she's returned safely. She looks a little more relaxed than earlier.
ここが私の暮らしているヨトハ村です。気に入っていただけましたか？
静かでいいところですね。
Her home right now, I noticed she said. So not like a place she's probably lived at for a long time, I would assume.
私一度でいいからこういうところに住んでみたかったな。
だよな。こんな雰囲気ゲームや映画の中でしか味わえないもんな。
みんな何を浮かれているのだ。村に着いたぐらいで。
Don't be mad. We've come to a different world, but they've been stuck on Monobe the whole time. I get how they feel.
ふん、そんなものか。
今私の仲間を呼んできます。少しここでお待ちいただけますか？
はーいみんな、夜も遅いんだからあんまり騒がないようにね。
うわ、なんか修学旅行に来たみたい。
いくら修学旅行でもファンタジーの世界にまでは来れないよ。
そうだな。飛ばされた時はどうなることかと思ったけど、これはこれでいい体験だよな。
The other students are also looking around in fascination and taking tons of pictures. Of course, that doesn't mean some aren't worried too, but maybe they realize that being scared isn't going to change anything. All we can do right now is set our worries aside and try to enjoy the situation. Everyone here is stronger than I thought. I wish Sanai and the rest could have come.
しばらくはここで過ごすんだよね。だったら後で早苗お姉ちゃんたちも呼んでくればいいんじゃない？
Come on, seriously? I don't think this village is big enough to handle everyone.
そっか。あれ、カティマさん、もう戻ってきたんですか？村の人は？
Alerted by her voice, I notice a number of villagers walking towards us. There's about as many of them as there are of us. Every one of them is holding a torch in one hand, and a weapon in the other. But Katima's not with them. Does that mean... One of the villagers shouts at us. The rest of them hold up their swords and spears. Their anger is obvious in their eyes and voices. They're clearly hostile to us.
ちょっと待って。俺たちは怪しいもんじゃない。
瀬戸木、これ一体どうなってるの？
皆さん落ち着いてください。私たちはカティマさんに連れてこられたんです。
カティマ様が？嘘つけ。お前らグルンドラスの密偵だろ。
やれやれ、どうやらとんでもない勘違いをされてるようだな。
I told you we were taking this too casually. Where'd Ktima go? Without her, there's nothing we can say to them. They're completely against us. Even if we could talk to them, I don't know how we could make them understand what we were doing on this world. Even we don't know.
みんな動かないで。下手に動けばこの人たちは本当に切りかかってくるわよ。ねえ、のぞむちゃん、私たち騙されたのかな？
Don't be stupid.
でも
Ktima brought us to this village, and now she's disappeared. In other words, Nozomu thinks that this is a trap. But I don't think that Ktima is the kind of girl to lie like that. Also, if Ktima was trying to lead us into a trap, I don't think she's gonna try to lead 3 Eternity sword-wielding users into a group of villagers that are probably armed with, like, you know, rakes and knives and, you know, garden tools. I believe in her. This can't be a trap.
のぞむ殿、さつき殿。
カティマさん。
これはカティマ様。
All of the villagers kneel and gather towards her. Oops, rather. All of the villagers kneel together toward her, like vassals kneeling to their lord.
皆さん、これは一体どういうことでしょう？
どうもこうもありません。この者たちが我々の隠れ里を嗅ぎつけ侵入してきたのです。
Good luck with that.
何を勘違いなさっているのです。この方たちは私がお連れしたのです。今すぐ武器を捨てなさい。
ですが。
They listen to her, but they don't give up on their suspicions that quickly. Ktima kneels towards us in exasperation and lowers her head. It's just like when we first met, like a knight swearing her loyalty.
私が人を呼びに行っている間、この者たちと行き違いになったようです。このような危険な目に遭わせてしまい、申し訳ありません。
カティマ様、そんな正体も知れぬこのような者たちに頭は下げられるなど。
The villagers are thrown into disarray by her gesture. I don't really get it, but maybe kneeling to us has some kind of special meaning for them. I think it's more like her position is probably extremely high.
アイギア国に伝わる預言書にはこうあります。天裂きて現るは天の使者なり、かの天使、信念を抱きし者のもとへ姿を現すと。
まさかこの者たちが我々を救う天使様だとおっしゃるのですか？
だからこそお連れしたのです。私は見ました。予言通り天が裂け、その後この方たちが現れたのを。
カティマ様、その話は本当ですか？
私が嘘をついていると思うのでしたら、この方たちを切るより先に私を切りなさい。
The villagers were brave a minute ago, but now they've gone completely quiet. We're still not angels, but at least it looks like we'll survive for now.
こらー、お主ら、天よりの使いである我らに武器を向けるとは何事だ。
なんだこいつ。
Oh, Raimi.
真珠。いや、それにしては小さいな。
我こそは真剣黎明に宿る真珠黎明である。そなたらの主君カティマの願いに応じてこの世界に降り立ってやったのに、この扱いは何だ。
真珠がいるということは、その者たちは本当に天使様なのですか？
まあ若干違うけど、そうなのかな。空から降りてきたのは本当だし、と天使様は言っておられます。まだ信じられない者はいますか？
ということは、この方たちが我々に助力を。
当然です。奪われたアイギアを取り戻すためにこの方たちは天よりお越しくださったのです。
おお、なんと。
カティマ様以外にも真剣の使い手が我々の味方に入ってくだされば、だらばなんぞ恐れるに足りん。
ようやく我々の念願が叶うのですね。長かった。
なんで泣くんですか？皆さんこれまでよく耐えてくれました。
The villagers all drop their weapons, fall to the ground, and begin weeping. Ktima cries in sympathy as she looks at them. They went from angry to shocked to crying. All we can do is stand there watching in blank surprise. Right now, all I know is that we've gotten ourselves into something we didn't expect.
どういうこと？
さあな、とりあえず命は助かったみたいだからよしとしよう。
Is it really, though?
それでは皆さん夕食時までこちらで待っていてください。
Ktima brings us through the village to a building. It's a lot bigger than the other houses. We should all be able to fit inside without a problem. Wow, that must be a big place then.
なんか本当にファンタジーね。好奇心が尽きないわ。そういえばカティマさんってここで一番偉い人なの？村人さんたちに慕われてたみたいですけど。いえ、そういうわけではありません。もうすぐ戻ってくるとは思いますが。
カティマ、その方たちは何者ですか？
There's a regal voice from behind us. I turn around and see a tall man dressed in armor. There's other men dressed just like him, standing at his side. They don't fit with the image of the peaceful village that we've seen so far.
クロムウェイ、戻りましたか？警戒する必要はありません。彼らは私が招いた客人です。
The man she called Cromway stays suspicious anyway. Well, it's reasonable. I'd be cautious if a huge group of people suddenly appeared too. One of the villagers that's been following Ktima whispers something to him. He nods several times. He looks surprised halfway through their hushed conversation. That would probably be when he heard that we're supposed to be angels.
なるほど。失礼しました。真剣使いの方々。ようこそヨトハ村へ。長としてこの村の民をまとめているクロムウェイと申します。
He bows politely. Apparently he's the leader here, not Ktima. With his regal armor and the sword at his waist, he looks like he'd be perfectly at home on the battlefield. It's kind of intimidating. Now that I think about it, those villagers earlier looked like they were used to their weapons. Just what's going on in this village? They all seem strangely used to fighting. Satsuki suddenly interrupts my thoughts by pushing me to the front of the group. Huh? Pleased to meet you. I'm Setoki Nozomu. Am I the leader here, then? Shouldn't the student president being the one starting out with the introductions? I glance back at her, but she just shrugs. Well, whatever.
それで交渉の方はどうでしたか？
今の時点では滞りなく進んでいます。物資も十分な量が確保できるかと思われます。
してクロムウェイ様、今晩についてですが、客人のために歓迎の宴を開こうかと考えております。
なるほど、わかった。では丁重にもてなしてくれ。くれぐれも失礼のないようにな。
I react a little bit to that. Apparently, they're throwing a party for us tonight. I'm still worried about lying to Ktima about the angel thing, though.
のぞむちゃん、ここは素直に歓迎されておいた方がいいんじゃないかな。
Yeah, I guess. That worries me too, though. As we whisper to each other, Ktima finishes talking to Cromway, and they rejoin us.
さて、皆様方、歓迎の意を込め、今宵に宴を開こうと考えています。その時まではこちらでお待ちください。
はい、お言葉に甘えさせてもらいますね。それじゃみんな行きましょう。ちょっと待って、写真撮らせていただいてもいい
You're
でしょ
obsessed
う
with
か？
photos. Relax.
写真？よくわかりませんが、ご希望とあらば。
それなら俺も入る。
This again. Casually fussing over things again like they found some rare item. They're fascinated by a knight wearing armor who looks like he's straight out of a fantasy movie. Cromway's stoic too, and takes it calmly, just like Ktima did. Once again, I end up as the cameraman. Later that night, after we rest in the village for a while, they bring us to the feast that they've prepared. The food and drink is much fancier than I was expecting. It's honestly a little much for such a simple village.
そうそう、天使様たちも飲んでくだされ。何もありませんが、我々にできる精一杯のもてなしをさせていただきますぞ。
Their attitudes have done a complete 180 from when we first arrived. Now we're being treated like royalty. I really don't know if we're the angels that they're wishing for, but we should take care of this misunderstanding sooner rather than later.
どうやらこの村の住人どもは純粋なものばかりのようだな。
Well, that's another way to put it.
純粋って、でもまあ歓迎されて悪い気はしないよね。殺されるよりはいいし。
Well, yes. Nozomu accepts it all without worry. I wouldn't say that the food's anything special, but given our situation, it's nice to be treated to a meal like this.
遠慮なさらずにどうぞ召し上がってください。何分山奥なので豪勢とは言い難いものしか用意できませんでしたが。
いえいえ、とんでもない。この魚なんて絶品ですよ。
このキノコも美味しいよ。マッシュルームとナメコを足して2で割ったみたいな味がする。のぞむ殿たちの口に合うか心配だったのですが、喜んでいただけているようで何よりです。
Everyone is gobbling down the food while talking to the villagers. However, part of me still can't celebrate. Even as I start to eat, I can't hide my nervousness. Satsuki tugs on my sleeve, maybe thinking the same thing as me. Probably not.
のぞむくん、行った方がいいんじゃない？
About us not being angels?
こんなおもてなし受けておいて今更だけど、勘違いさせたままってのもまずいと思うのよ。
Yeah, it's already carried on too long. This is gonna be awkward. Alright, here we go. This'll be fun. I think back to when we met Ktima. We didn't come here to save her or her village. It's just an accident that we're here at all. Our goal is to get back to our own world. We have neither the power nor the responsibility to help these people. And now we're pretending to be angels and kind of tricking them into feeding us. You were the one who told me to keep quiet about it.
だってここまで豪 豪華なもの用意されるなんて思ってなかったし。
Yes, it is.
確かに話に乗ろうって言い出したのは私だけどね。
I bet this is why you presented me as the leader.
何を話されているのですか？よろしければ私も混ぜてください。
Well... Satsuki pokes me from behind. I haven't even realized that she took the chance to shuffle herself behind me. She's making me handle negotiations here to the very end. Thanks, Satsuki. Actually, there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
はい、何でしょう。
I've got to tell her. She might be mad, but the longer we wait to tell her, the worse it'll be. Everyone else, please listen to. Actually, we're not the angels you say we are. I tell them about our world. I explain how we were suddenly attacked by minions, and how we got our eternity swords. I tell them it was just chance, just an accident, that we came to this world. I don't hide anything. So we're not actually angels. I'm sorry. We only ever wanted to go home. We had no intention of interfering with your world.
打ち明けるのが遅くなってしまってごめんなさい。でも今のぞむくんが言ったことは本当なんです。
All of the villagers, including Ktima, stare at us in silence. Eventually, they turn to Cromway and Ktima. He calmly takes a big breath before he speaks.
私は長の立場にいますが、この判断はカティマ、あなたに任せましょう。
He stares straight at me, or she stares. I meet her gaze and try to make her understand. We never meant to do them any harm. After a moment, she speaks.
望む殿たちが天より舞い降りられたのは本当ですよね。モノベイに乗ってだけどね。真剣の力を備えているのも事実です。
真剣に関しては偽りではない。我がここにいるのがその証拠だな。
でしたら問題はございません。やはりあなたたちは天使様です。
But, she's completely ignored what I said.
予言にはこうあります。信念を抱きし者のもとへ姿を現すと。もしもこの予言が正しいのであれば、ここで宣言しましょう。ヨトハ村にいるすべての者がこの予言に認められるに値する信念を抱いていると。
そうですとも。我々にはアイギア国を復興させるという大義があります。それこそが証となりましょう。
ちょくちょく出てくるアイギアって何？国の名前か何かなの？
アイギアとは兵の反乱によって滅ぼされた国の名前です。
Oh, a coup, huh? So then Ktima must be from the original royal family, is my guess.
この村から数十里北に進んだところに城塞都市グルンドレアスがあります。そこを中央とする軍事国家がグルンドラスであり、かつてのアイギア国でした。
Grundreas. And it was formerly known as Agia.
その国とここの人たちと何か関係があるの？故郷だったとか？
その通りです。今この村にいるのは反乱の際に国を追われ落ち延びた者たちなのです。ここにいる者は皆旧アイギアの王家に仕える騎士でした。しかし現在はグルンドラスに抵抗する小さな勢力でしかありません。
Okay, so if they tried to fight us, maybe we would have had a rough time after all. I see now. It's a group of knights. That explains why they handle their weapons so well for just villagers, as well as Cromway's bearing and attitude.
敵は強大です。グルンドラスは強大な軍事力を持つだけではなく、矛と呼ばれる精鋭兵を戦いに投入しています。望む殿たちを襲ったあの矛は、我々から国を奪ったグルンドラスの独裁者、ダラバウーザの配下なのです。
そうとも、憎むべきはダラバです。
謀反を起こしアイギアを滅ぼしただけでは飽き足らず、近隣諸国を恐怖のどん底に陥れているのだ。
The lance, huh? In other words, this Grundras is using minions to fight for him. Is it Grundreus or Grundras? That reminds me, before I met you, there was a village being attacked by the lance.
矛はダラバが抱える直属の騎士たちです。彼らのやっていることはすべてダラバが直々に命令しています。じゃああれもダラバっていう人の仕業だったんだ。どうして村を襲わせたの？ダラバの目的は人々に恐怖を与えることです。力でねじ伏せるだけでなく、見せしめに殺戮を行うことで立ち向かおうとする人々の心をくじこうとしているのでしょう。それだけの理由で？はい。たったそれだけのために罪もない人々が犠牲になっているのです。ここにいる皆がダラバを打倒したいと考えているのですが、戦力が足りないのが現状です。
ここにいる旧アイギアの騎士は皆戦う意志を持っています。グルンドラスの兵士が相手でも遅れを取るつもりはない。しかし相手が矛となると戦いは非常に厳しいものになります。奴らの力は人間の域を超えていますから。矛とまともに渡り合えるのは人知を超えた力を有する真剣使いのみ。この中ではカティマの他にいないのです。
They all bite their lips and look down. Ktima looks the most frustrated of all of them. Looking at them now, you could almost forget their usual calmness. They look brave but tragic.
ですからどうかお願いいたす。
この際あなた様方が何者でも構いません。あなた様方がお持ちの真剣の力を我々にお貸しいただけませんか。
このままではいつかダラバにカティマ様の居所を突き止められてしまう。
The villagers all bow their heads to me. Some of them are in tears.
私たち旧アイギアの人間は各地にこの村のような拠点を作り抵抗を続けています。しかし向こうの軍事力は強大すぎて太刀打ちできません。矛を倒せるのは真剣を持つ者だけです。あなたたちが私たちに力を貸してくださればダラバと戦える可能性も出てきます。私は自分の命が惜しくて力を貸してくださいと頼んでいるのではありません。私などの命一つで世界に平和が訪れるのならばいくらでもこの命捧げましょう。しかしこの命を落としてもまだ悲願の成就には足りないのです。
She holds her hand to her chest and speaks. Her tone is soft but passionate. We don't have an answer for her. I don't know what to say. I can't just say that I understand, but I can't pretend like I don't either. We saw Drav Urza and his lance slaughter that village. I never want to see anything like that happen again.
殺戮の対象となったのはアイギア国だけではありません。ダラバが存在する限り近隣の国々にとっての脅威は消えない。これは正義の戦いです。我々が戦っているのはこの世界に秩序と平和をもたらすための戦いなのです。
I understand. The words come out despite myself. As soon as they hear that, the villagers look up in hope. Nozomu and Satsuki stare at me in astonishment.
ノゾム君、お分かりいただけましたか？では
We can't decide this on our own. We have to go back to Monobe and discuss it with everyone else.
そうですね。ノゾム殿にもご事情がおありかと思います。
Well, we'll try to have a decision for you by noon tomorrow.
わかりました。私たちはここでお待ちしています。私はノゾム殿を信じております。
I don't have an answer for her. All I can do is stare silently at the ground. Alright, so it looks like we will
というわけ
likely...
でみんなに集まってもらったのはこれから私たちはどうすればいいのか相談しようと思って。
likely be dragged into this world's troubles, is what I was going to say. We told the rest of the students and teachers about what happened in Yota, as well as what we learned yesterday about the dictator, Drav, and Katima's fight against him. Now we need to discuss what we're going to do. Of course, our main goal is to go back to our old world, but we can't do that right now.
モノベを動かせることは動かせるんだけど、この世界から脱出するのは無理みたい。
何者かがプロテクトをかけているのかもね。
意図的に世界を閉ざしているのか。だとすればかなり厄介だな。
Can someone really do that? I don't understand this at all, but it seems like locking up a whole world is too much for someone to be able to do.
可能性は一つだけだな。この世界にいる真剣使いがその力を悪用すれば。
And they're putting up this barrier? She nods. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Zetsu.
真剣か。カティマさんがそんなことするわけないよね。
何のメリットもないわよ。私たちを逃がさないようにしているならともかく。
She's not the kind of person to do something like that.
何望むくん、やけにカティマさんのことかばうじゃない。
The barrier was there before we met her. Come on. Look, think a little bit. If she was going to force us to help her, why would she have let us come back to Monobe?
それもそうだね。
Both of them look a little steamed that I cut off their argument, valid as it may have been. They'll probably complain later, but I don't want to worry about that right now.
可能性があるのはもう一人。
ダラバね。あの時村でミニオンを率いていたのがダラバなら、確かに真剣使いで間違いないもの。
Yeah, but I doubt he really knows anything about us. And why would he close off this world from anyone leaving? Because it isn't like he would know that anyone was here, and I mean, I guess unless he has other contacts. But anyway, who knows? That's what I think's probably going on.
この世界に真剣を持つ者が他にいるなら話は別だが、今のところ他の真剣の気配は感じないな。
Oh, really? Odd.
っていうことは、この世界から脱出するにはやっぱりカティマさんに協力するしかないのかな。
But she wants to fight. If we attack Drav, then we're taking on an entire country. It's not just a little battle, it's a war.
私たちがそれに参加するのは、つまりその戦争に加担するってことになるわね。
戦争となると大勢の人が死ぬ。こちらも殺されるかもしれん。死にたくなければ相手を殺すしかない。その覚悟があるかどうかだな。
I'm not. Honestly, I'm still lost. Even if it's just the Lance, we're still killing them. I was just a regular guy until recently. That hasn't changed all that much since I got an Eternity Sword. I'm not sure I can kill someone else, even an evil, heartless murderer.
どうしましょう。
Shinsuke stands up after listening to our discussion in silence.
ねえさ、一般生徒代表として言わせてもらう。
どうぞ。
この世界から脱出する糸口は見つかったんだろう。だったらあれこれ考えずに思った通り行動すればいいんじゃないか。
もちろん戦うのは瀬戸木たちだし、私たちは見てるだけだけど、でもいつまでもここにいるわけにはいかないよね。いつモノベイが矛に発見されるかわからないしね。
カティマさんたちに協力するのが唯一の道なら迷うことはないんじゃないかな。無責任に聞こえるかもしれないけど、この世界にいることがすでに異常なんだ。いつまでも今の状況から目をそらしてても何も解決しない。
Muttering of agreement comes up from the rest of the students. I guess they're tougher than we thought.
やれることがあるなら今はやるしかないよね。最終的な決断は瀬戸木たちに任せるよ。もちろん私たちは瀬戸木たちの決断を支持する。
俺たちが今もこうして生きていられるのも望むたちが戦ってくれたおかげだしな。
You all feel the same way? The students and teachers nod in agreement. Of course, we shouldn't go picking fights, but they all believe that this is better than doing nothing at all.
じゃあ決まりね。
カティマさんに報告に行こ
Yeah,
う。どうしたののぞむちゃん。
no.
のぞむちゃんどうしたの？浮かない顔してるけど。
ひょっとしてカティマさんたちに力を貸すことが望むくんは不満？
I don't have a problem with that. I'm not against helping Ktima at all. We have the power of eternity swords, and after learning what's going on in this world, I can't just ignore it. I'm not worried about fighting, but the situation and our goal has changed. Because of what we decided, we're going to war. It's not like war is a new concept that we weren't aware of in our old world, but it never felt as real as this. I'm just thinking that if we keep fighting like this, we're going to quickly leave our regular lives behind.
望むくん、
She looked straight into my eyes. Not like her usual self. She's completely serious.
迷ってたら死ぬわよ。
Yeah, I know that.
迷うのも当然だよね。私だって怖いもの。
Scared, huh? Am I afraid of war? No, I don't think that's it. Without this power, I wouldn't be alive right now. That's why I decided that I'd protect everyone. But right now, I'm not protecting anybody. The only clear goal we have before us is killing someone. That's what's making me nervous. Holding a sword, standing as a member of an army, I get that.
でも戦う覚悟はつかないというわけね。
私は半分諦めちゃったけどね。
I didn't expect Nozomu to say that. She was more willing to jump into war than I was, but it hasn't taken away her peaceful heart either. I'm a little envious, but also kind of sad.
森くんも言ってたけど、この世界にいることがすでに異常なんだよ。いつまでも元の世界にいた頃の気持ちじゃいられないよ。
のぞみちゃんの言う通りよ。考えてもどうしようもないことはあるわ。ただ一つだけ言えるのは、私たちには戦う以外の選択肢がないってこと。
I know that.
だったら
She trails off, but I think that I know what she was going to say anyway. Prepare yourself. Prepare to fight. Prepare to kill the enemy. But don't fight to kill. Take up your sword to live and protect others. Man, you inferred a lot from that, Nozomu. That's what this is. Nozomi, Satsuki, thank you.
ありがとうって何が？
I'm ready now. It's still too sudden, but the reality will sink in eventually.
じゃあこれから準備してカティマさんの村に行こうか。
そうね。
Nozomi goes back to her classroom. Satsuki also leaves for her own classroom. But she suddenly stops and looks back at me.
さっきはああ言ったけど、実はほんの少しだけ安心したのよ。
Huh? About what?
そこで悩むのがいかにも望むくんらしくって。安心。
Was that a compliment?
褒めてるわけじゃないわ。ちょっとだけ呆れたのも本当よ。
That's harsh, Satsuki.
お互い生き残りましょうね。で、もう一度元の世界に帰りましょう。
She clenches her fists and pumps them enthusiastically. I return the gesture with less enthusiasm. She scowls at my half-hearted response. I smile sheepishly to try and cover it up.
ま、いっか。
With that, I go back to my classroom.
のぞむ殿。
Ktima and Cromway meet us when we arrive back in Yotaha. We give them our answer in front of all the villagers. Those of us with eternity swords will help them fight. However, our main goal of going home hasn't changed after joining them. They're overjoyed to hear that we'll help. Ktima immediately throws her arms around me.
感謝します。あなた方はやはり私の天使様だ。
Really? I'm glad you're happy. She hugs me tight with her whole body. Her long blonde hair tickles my nose and wraps me in its soft smell. I suddenly feel a hateful gaze. Ktima, I understand, so please let me go. I can't breathe.
カティマさん、戦う前に望むくんを壊すつもり？
おっと、これは申し訳ない。つい嬉しくて。
I thought she was more composed, but she gets surprisingly worked up. Right, Nozomi?
知らない。
Of course. She turns away in a huff. Where the heck did that come from? That's twice I've been blindsided in the last few moments.
望むくん、ちょっと顔赤いわよ。
Ugh, don't spread lies about me.
ちょっとからかっただけなのに。何その慌てよう。バーカ、望むのバーカ。
What am I getting scolded for? Did I do something wrong? Ktima, the cause of all this, smiles as she watches us. I never imagined that she'd get under Nozomi's skin too.
のぞみ殿、さつき殿、お二人にも感謝いたします。
She shakes both her hands.
真剣をお使いになる方が3人も味方に入ってくだされば、この戦いも勝ったようなものですな。
Villager A is very enthusiastic.
いや、全くです。
They all smile broadly in open gratitude as they shake our hands, but Cromway loudly chastises them.
喜ぶのは早い。これでようやく奴らに抵抗できる戦力が整ったと。ダラバの手に夜食がある限り、こちらにどんな力があったとしても油断はできない。
ダラバって人はそんなに強いの？
反乱を起こす以前はアイギアの飛翔と呼ばれ恐れられた男です。個人の戦闘能力もさることながら、将としての巧みさも右に出る者はいないでしょう。
He speaks grimly, but coldly, not underestimating his enemy, just giving a frank analysis of Drav. He really is a knight through and through.
しかし相手が誰であろうと戦う意志に変わりはありません。望む殿たちが我らが反乱軍に加わってくださったのです。負け？
当然。私たちも負けるつもりはないわ。やるからには勝たないと。そうだね。勝ってみんなと元の世界に帰るんだもんね。
Then Ktima, once again, we're in your hands. I reach my hand out to her, and she takes it.
はい、こちらこそよろしくお願いします。望む殿。
Hold it, we're all on the same side now. Can you stop calling me sir?
私もなんかのぞみ殿って呼ばれてると肩が凝ってくるのよね。
そうですか。では何とお呼びすればよろしいのでしょう。
Apparently, she thinks it's only natural to call us by this some honorific title. But that's because she thought we were angels before. I want her to treat us as one of them from now on. Just Nozomu. We're friends now.
望むってよろしいのですか？
私のことものぞみって呼んでね。
わかりました。望む、のぞみ、さつき殿。
なんで私だけ殿がついてるの？私も呼び捨てでいいわよ。
さつき殿はさつき殿という感じがいたしますので。
それってどういう意味？
昨日は望むが表にいたが、本来リーダーはさつきだからな。同じリーダー同士遠慮する部分もあるということだろう。
そう。じゃあいいけど。
There's one other thing.
何でも言ってください、望む。
It's about our companions.
森殿や美里殿たちのことですね。
私たちと手を組むってことは非戦闘員である彼らも巻き込むことになるの。万が一の場合、彼らだけは逃がすから、そのつもりでいてね。
分かっています。望むたちの大切な仲間です。私たちが命を張ってお守りします。
It's a relief to hear that. Okay, thank you.
はい。
And so we join the rebels fighting against Grundras. I still can't decide if I want to call it Dross or Duras. Duras. I'm just gonna say Dross. Back in our old world, we never dreamed that we'd be fighting a war in a whole different world. I can't hold back my nervousness about what kind of battle we'll be thrown into. But it's even more important for me that we found allies in this world. Everyone at school knows what's happening to both this world and Ktima's people. If we all work together, hopefully we can come out of it alive. That confidence and conviction in our strength boils inside my chest.
クロムウェイ様、放っておった密偵の一人が戻ってきたようです。
Villager A is so enthusiastic.
そうか、報告を聞こう。
報告します。本日未明、グルンドラスより放たれた矛がアズライールに侵攻しました。数は不明。
アズライールしまった。
All of them go pale. Apparently, the battle's taken a really bad turn.
どうされたんです？
我々の補給拠点を奪われた。いや、奪われかけているのです。
補給拠点？
我々反乱軍は隣国のクシャトを経由して補給を行っています。アズライールはクシャトとこの地域を結ぶ重要な拠点。そこを奪われてしまえば反乱軍の兵糧は一月と持たない。このままではダラバに戦いを仕掛けるどころではなくなる。そういうことです。
He bites his lip until it turns white, frustrated about the situation. Ktima, on the other hand, calmly puts her hand on the hilt of her sword and closes her eyes.
矛がアズライールに侵攻したのは今朝ですね。ならば大規模な戦闘が起き、おそらくは多くの兵が命を落としたはず。
くそ、矛め。
まずは犠牲者たちの冥福を祈りましょう。
They all turn towards the north and close their eyes in silent prayer. We close our eyes like them.
アズライールには大勢の民がいたはずです。彼らがどのような目にあったのかと思うと胸が張り裂けそうです。
I open my eyes slightly and look at her. She's staring ahead of her with a very different look from before.
本来ならばもっと時間をかけてファランタの町より侵攻する手はずでしたが、民を見捨ててはおけません。いいでしょ、クロムウェイ。
ええ、一刻も早く奪還する必要があるでしょう。ここはこちらが動くしかない。
The two of them don't say much, but it sounds like they've made the decision to fight. They look like generals going to war, shouldering the sadness and hatred of their men on themselves.
望む？思ったよりも厳しい戦いになりそうです。一緒に戦ってくれますか？
I glance at Nozomu and Satsuki to make sure that we're all in agreement. Both of them have already made up their minds. Of course, that's what we're here for.
ありがとうございます。では。
まさかいきなり戦になるとはね。
Alright, but before we begin, what I imagine is probably going to be our first full-scale battle. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. I'm going to end this episode. If you guys are enjoying the series, do consider picking up the game up for yourselves to support it and the developers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.